Hi, welcome back. Today's class is focusing on being grounded, staying grounded. So this is an important thing for all of us, whether we're on the mat or we're in our life. So how do we stay grounded? Today, the focus is how we can use our arms, our legs, our pelvis to get that feeling of stability and within that, strength. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's get started.
Before we get started, if you want to learn the basics of Iyengar Yoga,
I've designed a new course, Foundational Iyengar Yoga. This course is for you if you're a beginner, if you've been practicing for a while and you just want to deepen your understanding, or if you're a teacher and you would like to be more inspired, go back to the basics. So it's a 6-week course, 18 different classes, and you'll be able to go through at your own pace.
you can find more details in the description box below.
All right, so we'll first start by standing in Tadasana. So the theme in this class is staying grounded. So how do we stay grounded? If you think of the ground, you think of the solid earth, you think of the heaviness and the stability. So when we stand, we have to bring that idea into our minds, the stability that the ground provides, but then the stability that the feet provide. So the feet, you have all of your toes, you have your heels, you have your arch. That arch is a bridge between the front and the back. And that arch provides that lift to the legs, connecting the legs into the pelvis and then up into the upper body. So it's important that we stay with our minds in our feet, spreading the feet from the front foot to the back foot. So you can lift up the front of the foot and extend the toes. Lift the other foot, extend the toes, and then lift the heel, move the heel back, and then do that on both feet so that you're getting that lengthening, extension, but you're also spreading. So you're spreading your toes, have the weight in the mounds of the big toe, have the mounds in the inner heel, outer heel. And then as you stand in Tadasana, feel where the weight is on your feet. So it may be, and for a lot of people, the thighs get thrown forward, the lower back gets lifted, chest falls. So move your weight back so you can feel that weight in the heels. So as you feel that weight in your feet, lift up through the trunk, lift up through the chest. As you press the heels, drop the tailbone, move the thighs back, and lift up through the side trunk, opening through the front of the chest, collarbones wide, tips of the shoulders moving down to the fingertips. And then just balance there. So close your eyes just to begin with and notice where the weight is on your feet. And if you're listing to the right or to the left, can you come to the center? And now, with the eyes closed, just lean forward so you have more weight on the front of the foot and observe that weight there. What happens to the front of the legs? What happens to the back? And then sway back till you have more weight in your heels. And now press more weight into your heels and see what happens to the mounds of the toes and the toes. They start to lift up. Coming back to the center and then moving to the left. So feeling that weight distributed unequally to that side and then to the other side. Go back to the other side now. And then come back to the center. Now bring the equal weight, the front of the foot, the back of the foot, inner and outer foot. Stay grounded. And as you allow that penetration to happen, allow that to come right up through the body, right up through the crown of the head. And then open your eyes. We're going to go into Prasarita Padottanasana. Pada is foot. So this is a wide angle pose. Inhale, exhale, jump the feet. So take your hands on your hips and have your feet wide enough that you can have the weight on the outer edge of the foot, the inner edge of the foot, and the feet are about 5 feet apart. So if you have long legs, take your feet a little bit wider. Bring your elbows towards one another and lift the chest. So as you come forward, just feel that weight on the front of the foot, on the heel. Feel that grounded feeling of the entire foot and lifting up through the arch. Bring your hands right onto the floor, right underneath your shoulders. Move the thighs back, lift the backs of the thighs, and lengthen forward. And then bring your hands back in line with the toes. And from there, press into the hand and lengthen forward. As you move your thighs back, your hips come forward. So you're creating that extension from the pubic bone to the navel to the chest. And then bend your elbows, release your head down. So now you're coming down on the crown of the head. So this is a preparation, one of the beginning preparations for Shirshasana. So we're on the crown of the head, we're grounded there. So be right on the crown. If you aren't able to take your head to the floor, you can use a block. So I'll just have the block there for you. So that the crown of the head is coming down. You want the neck long. Those of you who don't need a block, just press the hands down, lift the upper arms, lift the shoulders up. And as you stay connected to the feet, lift up through the legs, and using that to be able to feel that connection right at the crown of the head. Stay with your breath. And then coming up. So there we were grounded with the hands, we were grounded with the feet and the head. 5 points. You're going to come now, turn your foot, come back into downward dog. So with the feet and the hands both grounded, extend the arms, extend through the legs. Let that chest lift up and back. Outer hips moving back, thighs moving back. And bring the weight onto your heels. Press the heels down. If the heels don't reach the floor, if you're, let's say like this, the heels are lifted, bring your feet a little bit closer. See if you can bring the heels onto the floor and ground the heel. Move the thigh back, extend the arm. Otherwise, you can take something behind the heel. You can have the rolled mat behind your heel. You can have a block, something firm that you can press into. Press the hands, lift up through the arms. And then you're going to bring your feet together so you can release your arms a little bit. Bring the feet together. And so beginning, we were in Adho Mukha Svanasana. So now we're going to go into Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. So extending the arms, staying grounded, balance with both arms, in line with the shoulders. And now you're going to bring one foot up, and you're pressing through that foot as if you were pressing into a wall. Press the heel, stay on that standing leg, draw the outer hip in, turn the thighs so it's facing down, and then press up through the ball of the foot. And then bring the foot down, regrounding there, feeling that weight as if you had one foot, and then slide the foot back. Keep the arms engaged, elbows in, lengthening through the side trunk, and then reaching back with that leg. Press through the heel, turn the hip so the thigh faces toward the floor, and then press up into the ball of the foot. And then come down and walk forward. Uttanasana. Bring the feet together. Stay on the front of the foot, stay on the heel. Bring the fingers in front of you. Hands a bit wider than the mat. Thighs moving back, hips moving forward. And then start to walk your hands back. Lengthening as you go. So you're lengthening, and then you're going to release down.
Bring the back of the head down. Inner thighs, inner knees moving down. If your hands don't reach the floor, you'll take the hands on the calves. If you need your balance, you can take your heels away from one another just a bit, or you can have blocks. You can have 2 blocks on the side. And then we're going to come back into downward dog. So just noticing how your balance changes depending on where your feet are. So we're born to walk and stand upright. So we need to be able to use our feet and our legs effectively so that we can stand tall. All right, now we're coming into Vasisthasana. So we're going to use the foot again. You're going to turn to the outer edge of that foot. I'll first just bring the other foot on the floor to give some balance. So now I'm got 3 points of groundedness: the foot, the 2 feet, and the hand. Okay? From here, you're going to lift the arm up, reach up. Turn the chest and look up. Stay on the outer edge of the foot. So you're pressing into the bone of the foot and you keep that hip lifted up. And then bring your hand down. Come back into downward dog. Feet are hips width. You don't need to move the feet. You don't need to move the hands. Just lift the leg and turn onto the outer edge of the foot. So the foot is in line with the hand, with the arm, and then bring your foot into that position. So you're now 3 points grounded, and then lift up. So as you press down into the hand, lift up through the arm, turn the chest. As you press into the foot, lift the hip up and look up at your hand. And then coming down, coming back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. We're going to do that one more time. This time we're going to bring both feet down. So depending on your practice, you can start like this, and then you can bring the other foot down or the other foot on the floor. So staying grounded as much as you need to. Reach up, pressing into the foot, lift the upper arm up into that shoulder, and turn the baby toe side of the foot towards you. Lift, breathe. And then coming down, hand back into downward dog, both feet, downward dog. Turn to lift the foot, lift the leg, and really feel that that outer foot is grounded. It's going to support you, especially when you come into just 2 limbs. So you can bring the hand down, bring the foot down, and then take the foot on the other foot. Press, lift, look forward first. Buttocks forward, tailbone in, thighs back, lift up. Just breathe. Keep the feet active, toes spread, little toe side of the foot drawing back. And then come down. So feeling the importance of being grounded and how we can ground through using the feet, using the hands. Sometimes 1 hand, sometimes 2, sometimes 1 foot, sometimes 2. Coming back into Uttanasana, bring the feet together. Take the fingertips out to the side, lengthen forward. And release the head. So feel the weight on the mounds. Stretch the toes forward. You can walk your hands back. Heels pressing down. Lift the backs of the thighs. Releasing your head. Inhale, come up. So feeling that weight with the feet, balance yourself, and bring your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, and then bring the hands down. So standing back in Tadasana,
Feeling that groundedness, that feeling of the whole body being in balance, and your feet, your legs, your pelvis, and your shoulders, all supporting. Lift up through the crown of the head. Okay, we're going to go to the wall now. So I have a block here, so you can have a block. We're going to go into Ardha Chandrasana, and we're going to bring one foot up on the wall. One foot will be grounded. So you're going to take the feet wide, like in Utthita Trikonasana, and you'll externally rotate that front leg. And as you come down, just adjust the block. I'm going to come back a little bit here so you see me in the center. So the block is right in line with your ankle. Turn the chest. You can feel the hip at the wall. That hip, if it's poking back to the wall, it gives you a good indication of it needs to come forward a bit. As it comes forward, you've got to keep that thigh moving back. So you'll come into Ardha Chandrasana, hopping that back foot back, be on the toes. So here, you're grounded with the front foot and the back toes, and then lift up. And now you're going to bring the heel up onto the wall. So using that heel to press, move the thigh back, position the block so that you can feel that you're using that block to lift up, lengthen, and turn the chest. And now, as I press that heel, I'm moving the buttock away from the wall, and I'm turning the chest. So I keep extending through the leg, and then as I turn, I reach the arm up. Now here, I'm going to use that hand as well to help ground me, to help stabilize me. Pressing the hand, turn the chest. So keep extending through the heel as if you're pressing into the floor, like we did in Tadasana. Pressing through the mounds of the toes, spread the toes, press the heel into the wall. Now with the standing leg, feel the width of the foot, the whole surface of the foot, and lift up through the inner leg and the outer leg. And then we'll come down, bring your hand back onto the hip, bending the knee, bring the leg back, you take the block and turn the feet. And we'll go to the other side. So turning the heel out, moving the leg close to the wall, because you're going to bring that heel up onto the wall, externally rotating that leg. Use your arms first, just to feel that groundedness through the left and the right, that lateral side, and then coming down, back hand on your hip. And as you come forward, just making sure you're not too close to the wall that you can't come forward. So as you come forward, move your block forward. Be on the toes again, stabilize. And from there, turn the chest. Reach the leg up. As you lift the leg up, lift and open through the pelvis. Press the heel at the wall. Press the heel down the standing leg and lift up through that standing leg. Now, as you press the heel into the wall, move your buttock forward. Turn the chest. Keep that bottom arm, that shoulder rolling back so it's turning toward the wall, bringing the shoulder blade into the body. And then reach the arm up. As you reach the arm up, press the hand, turn the chest even more. And then just make sure that you feel that connection from the front foot to the heel of your standing leg. Lift up through that leg, lift up through the hip. Lengthening the back of the neck, sides of the neck, turn and look up. So you're getting nice opening through the pelvis. You can feel that other center of contact, the pelvis, the buttocks at the wall. Move it away from the wall. And then bring your hand down, turn, and then come down.
Turn the feet. Jump the feet back together. Okay, so now we're going to come down on the floor, come into Dandasana. And I'll just show from the side. So from Dandasana, your feet are not pressing against anything here, but imagine you're still pressing into the floor. We can turn around and we can bring the feet to the wall. So as you press the feet into the wall, you feel that connection back into the legs, back into the hips, bring the hands behind you, and then connect the toes. Collarbones wide, outer shoulders moving back. Descend the knees, descend the thighs. So you're not just, when you're standing, if you hyperextend and you press the knee down, you're liable to hyperextend. Here you've got your calves, which will keep you from doing that. So lift the kneecaps, move the knee into the socket, extend the calf forward, and feel that contact of the feet at the wall. So feeling grounded from the feet back into the hips, lift up through the chest. Thighs descending, so feeling grounded from that action of the back thighs moving down, spreading, buttocks spreading, sitting equally on the left sitting bone and the right sitting bone. And from there, lifting up, connect your thumbs, reaching up. Spread the fingers, keep the feet connected. You can feel that spreading, that movement into the mounds, into the heels. As you press the inner heels, lift up through the inner leg. From the outer hips, press back into the heel at the wall. Reaching up. Thighs descending, hips descending. Creating that opposing action to get maximum extension. Stay with your breath. And then bring the arms down. Okay, and then sit with your legs extended without the wall. And get that same feeling, that memory of what you could feel at the wall on the backs of the legs. So press the heel, press through the mounds of the feet, lift up through the kneecaps, bring your fingertips behind you, bend your elbows, getting that lift of the armpit chest, reach up, inner thighs descending, inner knees descending. Now find the heel. Find the mound of the big toe on the inner side of the foot. Extend, and from the little toe side of the foot, from the outer heel, move back into the outer hip. Keeping that, switch the cross on your arms, your fingers, lift up. So feeling that groundedness, feeling that you're stable there, and that stability is creating a platform for you to extend. Release the breath. When the thighs are descending, you're able to bring the breath down further toward the pelvis. Just observe your breath. And bring the hands down. All right, now we're going to sit in Upavista Konasana. And you're going to have the edges of your feet, your heels, at the front edge of your mat. And then like we did at the wall earlier, you're pressing the heel as if it's pressing into the wall, pressing through the mounds of the feet. Spread the toes. And if you have quite a muscular calf, you can release it a bit. Sometimes when we're on these sticky mats, it gets caught. So just release the calf. Open through the back of the knee. You want to have the inner knee moving down, inner thigh moving down, and use your hands behind you. Press into the fingertips. Come to the inner side of the leg. So you want your thigh facing up toward the ceiling, the knee toward the ceiling. If you're rolling back, then you need to either sit on some height or just move the weight to the inside. You can do that by making an adjustment, bringing the inner thigh turning the inner thigh, and then with those fingertips, lift up. Just be with the breath, be with what you can feel there. Spreading through the backs of the legs, feeling that area that you feel grounded. The more you can descend the thighs, the more you can descend the back of the knees and the calves and the heel, the more you will feel that ability to lift up, create space. All right, now you're going to take your legs into Baddha Konasana. So bend the knees, bring the feet together. So here we're on the outer side of the foot like we were earlier in Vasisthasana. So you bring the feet together, press the feet, take your hands underneath the baby toe side of the foot and pull up. And as you pull up, lift the chest. So you might see that your knees are quite lifted up. So just allow them to be lifted. If they're too lifted, then take more height. So by pressing the mounds of the toes and the heels, you can start to lengthen the inner leg, and at the same time, you're drawing back from the outer knee to the outer hip. So there's that firmness in the outer hip socket. There's not just stretching and lengthening without some support. So to get that length, you've got to support it with the muscles of the outer hip socket. So just be aware of those two actions that go together. And now, press the feet down, lift up through the arms, chest is lifting, pressing the heels strongly, lengthen the inner leg. Feel that connection with the outer hip. Just close your eyes. Be there. Be there with your breath. And be there with what you experience. The more you can keep the feet grounded, the more you can create that space, that internal space, not only with the legs, but with the breath and with the mind. Soft breath, relaxed breath. And then we're going to come forward any amount you can. Bring your forearms and your elbows onto the legs, lengthen forward. And as you do that, just feel how gravity helps you to release the knees down, release the thighs down. Just allow that to happen as you come forward, any amount. Be there with what you can feel. Breathe into any discomfort. Breathe into any tightening. Use your exhalation to release it a bit further. Stay with that breath. And then inhale, come up. Stay with the breath. And now you're going to bring the feet together, knees together, and I'm going to turn on the mat. You'll have one block. Okay, so you're going to lie down. You're going to bring your feet in, and you'll lift up, and just take your hips on that block. Okay, from here, I want you to roll the shoulders under and bring the feet onto the floor. So you're lengthening through the fronts of the thighs. Feet are on the floor, shoulders are on the floor. Now you can take your feet in a little bit more. Let's first start with the fingers underneath the heels. Press the heels down. Roll the shoulders. So here you're grounded on the outer shoulders. So the more you're on the outer shoulders, the better. So when we first came down, you're on the back of the shoulders. So rotate each arm independently. Get as much rotation as you can. And then with the thighs parallel to one another, Press the heels down, lift the backs of the thighs. Now that you're coming up a little bit higher, get more roll of the shoulders open through the pelvis. Press the heels strongly, press the pads of the toes, lift up, and then come down. Now you bring your toes in a little bit more, and you'll take the block and turn the block on its highest height. And then you'll bring your feet onto the floor, both feet onto the floor, so you're stabilizing. You're using the left foot, the right foot, and the leg to stabilize so that you're balanced. And then take your arms, extend your arms, moving the shoulders down, lift the chest. We're still balancing with the feet. You can bring the feet closer. Notice what happens when you bring the feet closer. Bring the knees towards one another. So your knees are not out to the side, but they're coming in. Sometimes we hold a block between the legs. So just aware that the thighs are parallel. And now you're going to take one leg down and take the other leg down. We'll keep the legs wide for right now, not too close. Extend the arms, press the heels, move the thighs down. Now, if that's too much, you can do this at the wall as well, or you can bend your knees and bring your feet onto the floor. You can also take the block sideways. So depending on your body and what's appropriate for you today, you can come into this position with the lower block. All right, for those of you with the higher block, you can stay there. Extend your legs. As you press the thighs down, you see how much you need to lift the chest in order to roll the shoulders down. If the shoulders don't come to the floor, then put a blanket underneath your shoulders. So staying grounded with the shoulders, staying grounded with the feet, extend through the inner heel, draw back through the outer hips. Now keep one heel on the floor, lift the other leg up. So here you're grounded on your hips as well. So you're under that block. Feel the weight on the left side and the right side. Notice how much weight wants to go over to one side. Keep that outer hip with the lifted leg on the block. Lift the chest, press the arms down. And then exhale, bring the leg down. If you feel wobbly on that block, just make sure you adjust it so that you can stay balanced. Your tailbone is on the block, your sacrum is there. You're not high up on the lower back, but you're more on the tailbone. Now extend through the leg again, press the heel, move the thigh down, and then reach the leg up. The more you reach the leg up, the more you extend the other leg on the floor, the more you lift the chest. Keep lifting through the armpit chest, keep rolling the shoulders down, and finding those points that you feel grounded. So with that lifted leg, you're pressing up through the heel, but you're also driving the femur bone down into the hip. So there's that connection there. You're making that space in the pelvis, space for the breath, and then bring the leg down. Extend one more time. And then move the toes down toward the floor, any amount you can. Lift the chest. And then bend the knees. Bring the feet onto the floor. Come back to that very grounded position of the feet a bit wider, the legs a bit wider. Support across the hips and the shoulders. So when our pelvis is level and stable, then the rest of the limbs have a chance to find their position. All right, and then lift up, take the block away. Let's just take the block on the lowest height. Bring your lower back onto that block. Release your arms, turn the arms out, and then extend the legs out. Feel that you're on the center of the heels again. Toes are facing up, thighs are descending. On the backs of the shoulder blades, flat. So there's a slight lift in the chest when you're on the outer shoulders. Drop your rib cage down and just allow the breath to come back to a stable position, a stable flow. And then bend your knees. Take your block away and bring it out to the side. Just pausing here. I'm going to use a bolster now. So I want you to keep the knees bent and adjust the pelvis so that your lower back is long. Okay, so now you're going to take your bolster and bring it behind the knees, behind the thighs. And so from here, you're gonna have another point of grounding. So as you've already lengthened your lower back, you can go ahead and do that again once you've gotten that bolster. And then you're going to bend the knees and let the knees move out to the side. And then you'll be on your heels again. So the heels will then be that point of grounding on the outer heel because the knees are rolling out, legs are rolling from the inner to the outer. And then just come back to the memory of the shoulders and the lift of the chest. Adjust your arms. And just feel, do you feel that you can rest here? Maybe you need to extend your legs a little bit. Maybe you need to adjust your hips one more time. If your shoulders are stiff, you can either have the blanket. First, you can try just lengthening the occipital bones away from the back of the head so the chin is slightly moving in, and see if that doesn't adjust you enough. And then you can take your hands on the sides of the mat, roll the shoulders under, and let the arms roll out. If that's not enough to adjust your head, then have a blanket. And then now feeling the whole hand on the floor, the arm, the shoulders, the upper back, all the points where you feel that groundedness that comes with that feeling of touch and spreading, that stability, and that sense of calm and peace. Feeling that you're on secure ground, you're in a position that is stable and supportive, and you can relax, you can let go, and just be there with your breath. So now just letting go completely, the legs, releasing on the bolster, the hips on the floor, and the shoulders and the arms. And then coming to the head, just feel that the head is completely weighted on the floor. So you can also feel that the head is now grounded. There's a touch point there. There's an area for you to really center. And from that point that the back of the head is on the floor, just allow the forehead to move down to that point. Softening across the forehead, across the eyebrows, and in between the eyebrows, making that space so there's no tension there. Letting all that go. Moving the skin into the hairline. Feeling that softness come through the scalp to the back of the head. Relaxing your jaw completely and all the skin around the ear. Feeling the comfort of that space. Feeling the breath moving through the nostrils. Moving in and out of that space, those narrow passages. As it's contained by the passage. Able to move in and out. Let your exhalation release and be longer. Allowing the tongue to draw back. So allow yourself to be there. Completely supported, completely grounded. Coming into a passive state. Feeling more supported with each breath. Stay here as long as you like. Set a timer for you for 5 minutes. Namaste.
Thank you for joining me. I hope you've learned a little bit about how you can balance and where to balance. That will help you not only on the mat, it'll help you in day-to-day life. So if you'd like to see more classes that might be useful in that same way, take a look. And until then, stay safe, be well, namaste.